In this chapter, we're going to be looking at trig functions. We're going to be introducing a whole lot of new trig functions and looking at how to use them. So basically expanding our concept of trigonometry into a much bigger field that's going to be way more powerful. In this video, we're going to be introducing 3 new trig functions. Now, all the stuff I go through in this video is something which, depending on how you like to learn, you might want to come back to later on in this chapter. So you might want to finish this chapter and then come back to this video. Kind of depends whether you like seeing where functions come from before learning about them, or learning about them then coming back to their derivation. So it's kind of up to you. But I do recommend that you at some point do stick around to see where all these functions come from. We're going to be looking at some graphs and using similar triangles, and it's all going to be quite geometric. So let's jump straight in. All right, so what we're looking at in this video are 3 new trig functions: sec x, cosec x, and cot x. I'm going to go over to GeoGebra now and show you where these things come from. All right, so here we are in GeoGebra, and what I've got here is a unit circle. So that's a circle with radius 1, and I've put a point on the edge of the circle, and I've drawn a bunch of lines from it. I can move this around, but what I've got is a line, a radius from the center of the circle to that point. Then I've dropped a line straight down, dropped a line, well, center line across, and I've drawn a tangent to the circle at that point, which meets the axes here and here. And basically what we're going to try to do is work out the length of pretty much every straight line you can see in this graph. So one of them is pretty easy. This radius here is just 1. But can we work out what the length of all the others are? And we're going to do it in terms of this highlighted angle here. So we're going to call that angle x, and then we're going to try to work out the length of as many different lines as we can. All right, we're going to start by zooming in and having a look at this vertical line here. So what do we know about this picture? Well, we know that this angle here is, well, I've just called that x. Okay, I'm just telling you that's called x. We know the radius is 1. So could we work out what this red line is? Well, okay, I've got information about I'm working with the opposite and the hypotenuse, so that's sine. So I can say that sine of x equals this opposite side divided by the hypotenuse, which is just 1. Okay, so this opposite side just is sine x. Okay, so that's nice. So we now know that the height of this line, this red one, is sine x. So we've already got the length of one of our sides. What about this one here? Okay, well, we found out that this was sine x before. Now we want to work out the length of this line here. Well, notice it's the same as this line here. We know this is 1, and we want to work out the length of this line. Now, there are many different ways to do this. Using trigonometry, we can say I'm interested in this adjacent side, and I know that cos of angle x is the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse, which is just 1. So the adjacent just is cos x. So this is cos x. I also could have done it just using Pythagoras, right? Because cos squared x plus sine squared x equals 1, right? That's just our Pythagorean identity from last year. All right, so the length of this is cos x. Now, the full name for this, I don't normally say it, is cosine, right? This is the sine and this is the cosine. So notice that you've got sine of the angle here and cosine of the angle here. Okay, let's keep adding to our picture. So we know that this one is sine x. We know this one is cosine x. What about this line here? Okay, well, I've got that as 1. And if I think about this bigger right angle triangle here, it's a right angle triangle because this tangent meets the radius at a right angle. So if I think about this big right angle triangle, I'm interested in the adjacent side, and I'm interested in the opposite side, and I've got the adjacent, right? From this angle's perspective, this is the adjacent side and this is the opposite side. So what I know is that tan of the angle is the opposite side divided by the adjacent. Well, divide by 1, don't worry about that. So the opposite side just is tan x. So this side here, that's tan x. And where does the name tan come from? Well, it comes from tangent. So tan x is the length of the tangent drawn from our circle down to the x-axis, which I think is kind of nice. Okay, so far so good. Let's keep going. What about this one here? So let's say what we know so far. We know that's 1. We know that this is sine x. We know that this is cosine x. We know that this is tan x. What about this one? Well, let's do some similar triangles work here. So this is x here. So this angle here is 90 minus x. Well, that's a right angle there, and so this angle up here must be x. So this right angle triangle here is similar to the ones that we've been working with so far, because it's also got angles of x and a right angle of 90 minus x. So thinking about this big triangle here, this right angle triangle here, I want to work out this side. I've got this angle here, so this red line is adjacent to that angle, and then I know that the opposite side is 1. And just to be clear, the triangle I'm thinking about is this one here, where we know that it's x up here, it's 1 here, and I'm interested in the adjacent side here. So what links adjacent and opposite? Well, tan. So I know that tan x is the opposite, which is 1 divided by the adjacent. Okay, well, multiplying both sides by the adjacent and dividing both sides by tan x, I get that this adjacent side is 1 over tan x. So this red line is 1 divided by the tangent of x. Now, we actually have a name for this. What do we call it? We call it the cotangent of x. So we had sine of x here and the cosine of x here. We have the tangent of x here and the cotangent of x here. We shorten that almost always to cot x. So there we have it, one new trig function. Cot x is defined to be 1 over the tangent of x. Now notice that there is an alternative way we could define it. Since tan x is sine x over cos x, we could also say that this is 1 divided by sine x over cos x, which is the same as 1 times cos x over sine x. So forget about the 1, and that's just cos x over sine x. So the alternative definition of the cotangent is cos x over sine x. You work going forwards, you're going to need to be comfortable with cot x being either, or both, 1 over tan x or cos x over sine x. Okay, there are more lines to investigate in this diagram. So let's find the length of this red line down here. Remember, what we know so far is that this is sine x, this is cosine x, this is tan x or tangent x, and this is cotangent or cot x. So looking at this red line here, I know that this length is 1, and I'm interested in this side here, which is the hypotenuse of this triangle. So I know what the adjacent side is, and I want the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse and adjacent is cos. So I've got that cos of the angle is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Multiply through by the hypotenuse and divide through by cos, and I get the hypotenuse is 1 over cos x. So the length of this is 1 over cos x. We have a name for that. It is called the secant of the angle. So we tend to shorten that to sec x, and sec x is defined to be 1 divided by cos x, and it's the length of this line here. So this red line at the bottom, the whole thing at the bottom, it's the line from the origin to the point where the tangent hits the axis. That is the secant of x, or sec x. All right, one more. Can you guess which one it is? It's the red line up here now. So for the last time, what do we know? We know this is sine x. We know that this is cosine x. We know that this is tan x, or tangent of x, and this is the cotangent, or cot x. We know that the whole length from the bottom here is sec x Can you guess what this one's going to be called? All right, let's figure out what's going on. Remember that the angle up here was also x, and we know that the radius is 1. So looking at this big right angle triangle here, we've got the radius, and we're interested in we've got the opposite side, and we're interested in the long hypotenuse here. So we're working with sine. So I can say that sine of x is equal to the opposite, 1, divided by the hypotenuse, which is that red line. Multiply through by the hypotenuse, divide through by sine x, and that is the length of this red line. Now, we have a name for this. It was the secant on the bottom, and over on this side it is the cosecant, which we define as, we call cosec x, and cosec x is defined to be 1 over sine x. All right, so in all its glory, we've got this diagram now. That length is 1, that length is sine x, this length is cos x, then we've got tan x here, we've got the cot x here, cotangent of x, which we now know can be expressed either as 1 over tan x or cos x over sine x, just like this tan x here is also sine x over cos x. Then we've got this length down the bottom here, which is sec x, which is 1 over cos x, and that's the secant, and over here we've got the cosecant, so cosec x is the whole length here, and that is 1 over sine x. So there we have it. Our 3 new trig functions are cot x, which is 1 over tan x, which is the same as cos x over sine x, sec x, which is 1 over cos x, and cosec x, which is 1 over sine x. Okay, there are your 3 new trig functions, so we now have 6 trig functions to work with, and pretty much for the rest of trig we're going to be using all 3 of those a lot. All right, hope that's been an interesting insight into how these things are derived and how they where they come from. If you didn't quite follow it, what I suggest is you come back to this video after you finish the chapter when you're a bit more familiar with these functions. All right, that's all for now. In the next video, we're going to explore some properties of the graphs of these functions.